Hello and welcome to Last World Boxing. Can't quite believe I'm covering this topic today, but let's give it a go. Joined by regular Sean. How you going, Sean?
All good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, all good, thank you, for Monday and all that. So let's jump straight into it. So obviously Darren Till will be rock cold on Saturday night. It was very limited, wanted, let's be honest. I suppose Till looks half decent doing it, as good as a misfit fighter can look. We're never going to like this as a hardcore boxing fan, but just give us your thoughts on the pantomime that happened afterwards and whether you think there's any possibility that Froch is going to actually jump in the ring with Darren Till 11 years after finishing his pro career.
Yeah, it was the first sort of Misfits night that I watched, all from start to finish, as it were. And as for entertainment, it was actually not too bad if you took it in isolation for what it was.
Yeah.
In terms of Froch and Darren Till, I think it would be a good fight, to be honest. I didn't follow his UFC career too closely, but by all accounts, apparently he was more of a stand-up puncher guy, as his style. So, yeah, he looks half decent as a professional boxer. I wouldn't say he's British level or anything like that, but certainly can hold himself, and he punches correctly, which is a good starting point, I guess.
Yeah, obviously I'm going to take massive exception to this being a Nottingham lad, obviously Carl Froch, one of our own and all that. I'm not sure how much of a level it's going to be. The fact that Froch has been out of the ring for 11 years, still looks in good nick. Didn't seem phased when Till was climbing over the ropes and everything like that. Stayed cool, calm and collected. He had admitted himself that he's reached out to England and people in the boxing world. And he's going to have a bit of a spar to see if the fire still burns. Where's your thoughts on it if they do step between the ropes, Sean? Is it going to be a mismatch, or do you think Father Time's going to level it out a little bit? Because in terms of ability, there's only one winner, right?
Yeah, I think just given he has been out the ring 11 years, no matter how much sparring he does, I think there's always going to be an element of he's lost some of what he had, and he was a great fighter back in the day. I think it will be quite close for that reason. I think, well, there appears to be a big weight disparity between them as well. Darren Till looks a fair bit heavier than him. So if it does happen, it'll be interesting to see what they negotiate and what weight they make it at.
Did you see the interview afterwards where you got a DAZN executive sat next to Froch really having a beer? Froch was very coy, wasn't in his response, but DAZN are definitely up for getting him in there, right? I think the numbers stack up.
Yeah. I did see it was on his YouTube channel, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, they do seem keen and willing to have the fight. I guess probably it would be the biggest Misfits show that they would have, or a headliner at least. Be interesting to see how it is labelled, because as I mentioned, I watched the whole show, and some fights were listed as professional fights, some were Misfits. So it'd be interesting to see in that regard. I mean, obviously, Froch wouldn't particularly want any of his record damaged if it was a real fight.
Yeah. I mean, Misfits probably deserved its own video content, really, because it's quite an interesting concept now. They're throwing the word pro in there for certain bouts. And to be honest, some of the fighters do look half decent, don't they? And there is a void there underneath fighters that Turk Shake's got no interest in. But that's for another day, that debate about where it sits. So, in a word then, Sean, does Carl Froch jump in with Darren Till or not?
Yes, I think he will, especially if he gets the old bunts, as he refers to. If he gets a good payday, I think he'll take the fight.
And say he was to get beat, God forbid, if he was to get beat, does that tarnish his legacy, Sean?
Again, it depends how the fight is set up. If it is a professional fight, and he did, obviously it wouldn't look great on his record, but I don't think he would be too worried about that. I don't think it does. No, I mean, we've seen fighters in the past go on after they retired and come back, and people don't think any less of them. So I don't think it will affect his legacy.
It's quite interesting at the minute, and I promise we'll do a video on this, but you got bare knuckle coming up on the rails as well. Jamesy Gale jumping in the bare knuckle arena. So we'll do a separate video on where we think Misfit sits in the landscape at the minute. But thank you for your time, Sean. Much appreciated, fella. This has been Last World Boxing, proudly sponsored by SC Travel and Shore Building Services. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you.